Let's move from our values to our what we call our three uniques. This is some of our the distinguishing things about working with ChurchBiz. Are you okay if I have you lead through this part and I'll just comment?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we have three uniques, like Josh mentioned, that we feel like are differentiators for us in how the way we work. And the first one is a dedicated CSR, one point of contact led by CPAs. What's a CSR? Client service representative. That's who's you're going to work with if you work with Church Biz to handle your payroll and bookkeeping. What we wrote up about this is each of our clients is assigned a dedicated client service representative who serves as their primary point of contact, are trained and supervised by our team of CPAs, and the CSR is going to be your first point of contact. They're the ones you're working with in the day-to-day. Also, each client has a partner who ensures that you receive the service you need. So at least twice a year, one of our partners, myself, Josh, or Kevin Adderholt, will reach out, check in, gather feedback, see how it's going. Are we meeting your expectations? So again, this goes back to that simplicity value we were talking about. There's different models of business. Some companies similar to us have a team that you work with specialized in different areas. We train our team across all of our tools, and we want to make it easy on you so you work with one dedicated person. And so hey, I'm going to talk to Courtney or Audrey or Josh or Chris or Nathan, whoever on our team. That's your dedicated contact person to make it easy on you. But also know that you have the support of our partners. We're going to be checking in. We're going to make sure that we're meeting your expectations, or maybe there's expectations that have developed that are outside of what we typically do. We can bring those things back into alignment. And so we want to both support, but also keep it easy so you're not having to talk to 5 or 6 different people. That's the way we want to go about it. Anything you would add to that?
Yeah, 2 thoughts. First, I had a client who came to us because they were interacting with a CPA firm that they talked to one person for payroll, they talked to another person for their bookkeeping, they talked to another person for 1099s at the end of the year. And maybe one of those persons was responsive, but if one was not responsive, then it goes back on the client to track down whoever they need, and so they're not even sure who to go to. And so one thing I love about having a dedicated CSR is that it's always clear who your point of contact is. That doesn't mean that no one else from Church Biz will work with you, but it means your CSR is responsible for doing all that work of tracking down this help for payroll, or if it's a tax question, reaching out to one of our CPAs. And so I think that's really on the church end, as someone who's experienced working with Church Biz prior to coming on with Church Biz, I think that's a really unique and a great benefit to working with us. And then the other thing is just working with the CSR. We really do value relationship, and we want you to develop that relationship with the CSR where you know that they're for you, they're working on your behalf. It's not a burden when you reach out to them. They're excited to talk to you, and they really are rooting for your ministry. And so I'm not saying that's 100% of the time, but that really is the attitude we want coming from our CSRs, is that, hey, they're on your team as much as they can within the boundaries that we've set in our agreement. We're going to look to meet your needs and help you in a way that you feel like you're not burdening us. We're actually excited to serve you.
The second unique with working with Church Biz we would highlight is focused on the church and the unique needs of religious organizations. We've already touched on this, that if you're a business, you're coming to us, it's like, hey, awesome, here's somebody we would refer you to. We're going to continue to stay focused on churches and religious organizations. And highlight some of what we wrote up here on this vision value docs is we've been focused on this since 2008. So the last 17 years, this has been the focus and what Church Biz has been about. And we have a knowledgeable team who understands the unique accounting needs of churches and nonprofits. I would highlight that everyone on our team is a Christian, is a believer, is either in leadership at a local church or actively involved in serving in a local church. And so not only knowledgeable on the technical side of what we do, but understand church life and ministry. And that's an area of focus and specialty as we've been saying. So on the small to mid-sized churches, we really can add value by relieving the burden on the volunteer staff and work within your budget. For the larger churches, we've touched on this, we can collaborate with your existing back office team to fill any gaps, allowing your staff to focus on the priorities of ministry. That's really important for us. And so regardless of your size, we can scale our services to support your growth. And so with the tools we use, the simplicity around that, the solution-based focused, knowledgeable focused team, we can scale and grow like we've talked about, so that you don't have to hire that person in-house. So you can have a team of people with a shared knowledge so you can focus on less on the back office and more on the priorities of the ministry.
Yeah. And because we are streamlining tools and trying to do things simply, we also that helps us charge really reasonable rates. So even if you're a church plant, don't be scared off by having professional outsourced accounting services. We have rates that scale down to a church plant. And just one quick thing to say to church planters, because I was once one and know that you can think on the cheap, and I was that way. But there's usually some person in your core team maybe that has CPA experience that can volunteer to do the books for free. But let me just make a quick pitch for why to go with outsourced accounting, not even just ChurchBiz, but why to go with outsourced. Because yes, that person may do that for a season or a year or two, but one, you're trusting them with all your financials, and do you really know them that well? And two, are they going to get fatigued? Are they going to get tired? What if they leave? Then who's responsible for? And we'll talk about that in a minute. But who's responsible for carrying that on? And also, going back to the trust thing, not to say you should distrust them, but when you have an outside party like ChurchBiz doing your books for you, that's an added layer of security for you. Someone who's not writing checks and accounting and reconciling your bank accounts, but someone outside of that we're not there to be the watchdogs, but we can at least say, hey, we saw these checks going out, and we just want to make sure that that's for ministry purposes and that you're aware of that. And so, as much as I hate to say it, there is fraud in the church world, and there are people who use churches for their own gain. And ChurchBiz gives you that added layer of security that you can even tell your church and donors, hey, we've got a third-party accounting firm working for us, overseeing our books, and they are backed by CPAs who know what they're doing, so we're in compliance. So just a little plug, not to diminish those that are serving and trying to do books for church plants, but that's one thing I would say. A unique need of a religious organization is you need accountability and outside eyes on your books.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've heard that several times. A smaller church world, it's like, hey, this family member can do the books, but we want that accountability of someone else looking at that. Or next step up from there, have run into this many times of, well, if we want to do this because we know we can save money and we can get knowledgeable and helpful outsourced work from you guys, but I don't want to have to let this person on our team go if they have an in-house person that's part of their job or all of their job. And we walk through, well, actually, we can handle these pieces, and then this person can still provide some financial review and oversight, but you can free them up to do other jobs within your church. And so there's been many times where ChurchBiz has stepped in from someone was doing the books in-house, and that freed them up to go do other ministry roles. And that's awesome. I mean, that's why we exist and want to help out. So there's both sides of that coin we've seen many times, and I think that's just a unique thing that we can bring. And the third unique, so the first was one point of contact, the second was focused on churches and religious organizations, and the last unique that we highlight is stewardship consulting. And we said this already a couple times on the podcast. We don't want to just be a commodity. We want to be a resource to your church or ministry. And so specifically with this unique, we aim to support churches, not just as a service provider, but as a partner in financial stewardship. Our mission is to deliver exceptional accounting services while also serving as a valuable resource for enhancing your church's financial leadership and stewardship practices. We are committed to developing resources and providing consulting to help achieve this goal. And this is an area Josh is leading out and primary for us on this. We're developing a resource library. We've released a financial training course. We do these podcasts. We have blogs. We have also had churches bring us in for one-day workshops to talk about minister tax. We've had other general stewardship. What should we be thinking about as a church? How do we read financials? Spent on-site time with that as we have capacity willing to do that. Or can we get a coaching and consulting Zoom call? We're happy to do that work as well as we have capacity. We want a resource in that way. And the way we've scaled that is through this financial training course of the common things that we see over and over and over again. But there's also time where it makes sense for us. Like I said, we can come on site. We can get on a Zoom call and to be that stewardship consulting resource?
Yeah, we're really trying to develop stewardship consulting resources that can go all the way from the lowest level involvement, just subscribing to our resource library or taking our Finance Team 101 course, all the way to an on-site training that we do. And we're working through the details. We'll have more information on the specifics of what we can offer at the towards the middle of 2025. But it is something that a distinguishing thing about us is because we care about leading churches to God-honoring stewardship, we want to equip and resource churches for that as well, whether that's an executive pastor, whether that's a financial leader in the church, a finance team leader, or that's a church planter that's kind of on his own trying to figure everything out. We want to help provide the services for you, but we also want to give you consulting and resources and training. And so we're developing different resources that hit some of the common things we see in church finance life. And we also would love to hear from you. If any of you listening to this have a topic or a resource that you would love, that's gold to us, because we'd love to develop that. We'd love to create something that would help and benefit your church. We're motivated to help you and to meet those needs. So it's something we're continuing to develop, and towards probably June, July of 2025, we'll have some more, clarity and some more out there on our website about what is actually available. Yeah.
I'm excited for those things we're rolling out and talking about like the resource in library. Just say, what we've done in the past now, bringing that more into just easy to utilize resources. The work you're doing this year is going to be great. What I'm excited about, even last year we rolled out that first financial training course. So we had good response to that very first launch of that course we did last year. One church I'll highlight, they contacted me, said we want to take our board and all of our finance teams, 13 or 14 individuals. It's like, if you want to be part of our finance team at this church, you have to take the Church Biz financial training course. And that's one way this can benefit you, and how we want to resource amongst many ways, how to kind of digest that info that we have.
Yeah, that's good. Our guarantees, we want to talk a little bit about that. This is 5 guarantees that these are kind of just like, if you work with Church Biz, here's what we strive to kind of promise to you, that we're going to try to uphold this to the best of our ability. This is what we're going to hold our team accountable to. And so I'll read through these and then you can comment as you want to. But our first is timely financials. All of our client service reps are striving to provide you with your monthly financials within the 7th business day of every month. Now, the caveat to that is you've got to have your expenses coded. This is usually the thing that makes it drag out is, you churches that take a little bit longer, you know who you are. It's okay. We still love you. But as long as all the info we need is in, we want to have you those financials by the 7th business day of the month. And that's part of us just going back to that value of being reliable, of being trustworthy. We want to work hard and get that to you by the 7th business day of every month. Anything you'd add to that guarantee?
That's part of what we were talking about how we want to work. I'll just say one thing I would highlight is that we are structured differently than a traditional CPA firm that's going to compile financials, look at your stuff once a month. We're going to look at it every week. We're going to update your books every week, whether you're weekly reports or monthly reports. I've been in this world, so I understand this, but tax time, if you work in a CPA firm who's also doing your bookkeeping, they may not look at it till 15th, 20th, 25th of the month, and then they're just going to send you a compilation and email it over to you. And that we have purposely said we're going to continue, even Kevin and I that work on the tax side, that doesn't mean that that's a delay for our bookkeeping clients, because we have service promises and deliverables that we're going to take care of even in our busier seasons. And so, yeah, we're going to work hard to get it out in a timely way, so that when you get it, the information is still relevant, current, and you can make good decisions on it, not a 1 month, 2 month lag.
And if you're one of my clients, I'm going to bug you if you don't get me that information in a loving way. But I'm going to bug you because I love being able to get it out to you.
We send those code reminders out day one. Like, we're going to get your stuff coded.
I will. Full confession, on the pastoral side, when I was a pastor in ministry, I was the person who took 2 weeks, and even in the early days of church planting, I think there was a time where I would just code things at the end of the year. Do not do that. Do not wait till the end of the year. We won't let you do that if you're working with. I was not working with Church Biz at that time. It was the other CPA who I will not name. Our second guarantee is 24-hour response time, and we What we mean by this is basically that within any business day, within 24 hours, our client service reps will respond to your email. They'll respond to your phone calls. However you contact them, we want to have a response within 24 hours. Now, obviously, if that's on a Friday at 5 o'clock, we're not calling on Saturday or Sunday where our employees are resting, we're resting. But on Monday, that person would follow up with you. And I've heard too many stories of CPA firms or churches that are working with just unresponsive CPAs or bookkeepers, and we want to promise that, hey, we're going to be responsive. Our third guarantee is continuity of service, and one of the challenges churches face with perhaps in-house accounting or trying to do it yourself is that what happens when that person leaves? What happens to all the financial logins, the historical data, the bank information, all of those things, the QuickBooks file or wherever all that was stored. If you're working with ChurchBiz, one of the things we will do for you is we take care of that. So if for some reason one of our employees leaves and moves on, well, it's on us to keep that information secure, to pass it on, and to make sure that you have accounting service without interruption. So anything you would add to that?
Yeah, I think it's a huge value, and it's something. One interesting benchmark that always comes to my mind is what percent of your budget are you allocating to your back office resources? And it's always worked out that the way we price our service always typically falls less than 2% of annual operating budget. So if you're that church plant just starting out, you're like, oh man, that $200 to $300 a month plus subscription fees just feels substantial. That's understandable when you're just starting out. To the larger churches that we're going to charge more, that have these bigger budgets, you think about the percent of your budget that's allocated to the work that we're doing. Typically, to have that guarantee that there's going to be a continuity of service is a huge value in my view. And so if I'm pitching it that way, I often talk in that terms of just like benchmarking your expenses. We talk about that in our financial training course. Well, typically no staff member, especially small to mid-sized churches, is going to be anywhere near what you're paying in our fee each month. But if that staff member, that volunteer, that finance team member is gone, you don't have to worry about starting completely over. We have that continuity of service. That's our burden to bear on your behalf if you work with us.
Yeah, we keep all of your files and documents and important information securely stored in a industry standard storage, and we'll have that for you. That's another thing you don't think about when someone leaves and they have all the logins or they have all the historical information, and then you have to track them down, and it's never fun. Yeah. So we take care of that.
Had a couple situations where our prior CPA or bookkeeper was on their machine. The machine crashed. We lost 3 years of data. That's not going to happen with us because we don't store it on our local machines. Yeah. Like you said, we use cloud-based tools that are secure, encrypted. Haven't had one crash or breach yet. Yeah. So we take that we take it seriously. Yeah.
Fourth guarantee is solutions, and we've already mentioned this a little bit in our differentiators or our uniques, but I'll just read this real quick. We utilize a standard set of cloud-based solutions designed to reduce your administrative workload, allowing you to focus more on your ministry. Our team of client service reps is ready to assist you in implementing these tools in a way that supports your church's growth. This helps us streamline our process and keep our rates affordable. The only thing I'll say on that is basically our client service reps are going to be trained on these tools so they can help you utilize these tools as well. And so that's just one of our guarantees is we're going to you already kind of said this earlier, but we're always going to be looking for what are the best solutions, what are the most cost-effective solutions for you. Our staff is going to be trained on those tools so that they can help you use those tools. So maybe you're not a tech person, maybe that's a little intimidating. Again, we want to come alongside you and be a resource and help you utilize UNCAT or utilize, bill spend and expense or bill accounts receivable. I get confused on all the bill products, but we're going to help you with it.
Yeah, for sure. And we touched on solutions as one of our values, and we also call out solutions again as a guarantee. Like Josh was saying, the value is we're going to be focused on finding solutions, finding efficient and effective solutions. And then under this guarantee, we're going to expand that to say really what I already touched on is the tools component of that is these cloud-based tools that efficiently scale and grow with you, that we efficiently know how to use. That's part of that, how we focus on our value solutions and how we provide solutions as a guarantee is knowing the tools, being well trained on the tools, advising you on which tools you need, and then helping you work within that so you have the proper controls. So you are coding the credit card items because you know what they are, but we're going to help facilitate that for you. You're going to approve the bill pay that goes out, but we're actually going to cut the check for you through bill that we're talking about, through bill payables. We're going to help you if you need to get Visa cards. We can help you do that through our vendor that has great options and great secure options and great coding options and all of those things. So that's expounding that value into this actual guarantee of what you will get with our cloud-based tools and solutions.
Our last guarantee is resourcing and consulting. And again, we've already mentioned a lot of these in our values, in our benefits, our uniques. But here's the guarantee, I think, would be essentially that we want to work with you to provide the right consulting, the right resourcing for your church. And so just to even let you know that's something we want to do, that's something we enjoy doing, that we are developing resources to do. And so whether it's a request you have for us to create a resource, whether it's a problem that we can offer customized consulting and solutions for, we promise that we're going to work hard to help you with whatever problem it is you face. And we'll have a variety of solutions, different costs associated with those things, being all the way from free resources to our subscribed classes or resources we create in the future, or on-site consulting where we would have our hourly rate. But this is something we want to guarantee to you, is that we're going to work hard to resource you with everything you need for God-honoring stewardship. So anything you'd add to that?
That's great. I think that's something we've been passionate about for a while. So seeing that come to life is exciting for me. And we love the one-on-one time and the conversations, but there's just the fact there's only so many hours in a day. And so we say, what are the things we hear over and over again that we can get out to you through our resource library, through different articles, videos, podcasts, Zoom meetings, on-site consultation for whole teams, just ways to, what's the easy mediums to get that information out to you to support the things that we want to do. And this is what we want to do, what we're passionate about, serving the local church, helping with resourcing and consulting. We put time and thought and energy to it. We're not, everything is thought out, not only for how it meets the need, but who those receiving that information, what's a church pastor, executive pastor, finance team member, how are they going to be able to relate to this? It's not just a copy and paste from the IRS website. It's actually thought out and contextualized for what we think you need.
That's good. And this kind of wraps up our vision and values. And I hope that it really can help anyone who's listening, which thank you for taking the time to listen if you are, to really understand who we are as a company, why we exist, and how we do what we do. And hopefully some of these values, some of these guarantees, these benefits we're talking about as a company, hopefully they aren't new. They're things that you've already experienced with Church Biz, but what we really want to do is put them on paper, articulate them so we can commit and grow in them. And so that's what we're doing. And even doing this podcast is kind of an exercise in me and Chris learning to articulate these things and share them with you. And so hopefully that's helpful.